Hey guys, welcome to Sample Tools by CR2, and today we're going to be showing you some new tips and tricks. Now, you probably noticed in the sample pack that there was this quite sort of cool atmospheric vocal which really pushed the rhythm in the background. So I'm just going to play you the vocal that I'm talking about that I've created, and then we're going to show you how to make it from scratch. So there you have it. It's pretty simple, but actually very effective when implemented into the background of a track to create rhythm, ambience, and a little bit of melody. So what I did was I started by actually taking one of these really cheesy Apple loops and just cutting out a segment of it. So I'm just going to play the Apple loop by itself. Can you feel it? And what I did was I just cut out the it from the loop. And I was like, you know what? That will work. Let me try that. So once I cut it up, I placed it in this rhythm. Now, in the sample pack, actually, it's kind of double the rhythm, which I think sounds a bit cooler. Let's do that. And one of the first things I did was pitched it. I thought, I don't really want this to sound too much like a vocal. I do want it to sound more like an instrument. And when you pitch things up or down, you actually decrease the quality of the audio. Now, you may think that that's a bad thing, decreasing the quality of the audio, but actually it can make the sound more interesting and introduce new tones. So without... And now, because pitch shifters don't actually get 100% right on every hit, especially when it's a very short piece of audio like that, it tends to create imperfections and weird artifacts, which is actually quite cool, which means we're never getting the same thing twice. And that's just, making it different every time, which is making it more interesting. Now, we all know that in order to make something ambient, using something like reverb really helps. Now, I'm using the Native Instruments RC24, which is based on a lexicon reverb, and I'm going like for a really long reverb here, about 3.6 seconds. Now, what I'm doing with the reverb is I'm actually automating the mix, the dry to wet mix. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is I'm trying to create movement as it travels to the end of the phrases, so the end of the 4 bars, the end of the 8 bars. So the end of the 4 bars, it's at 86, and the end of the 8 bars, it's at 100%. So let's just have a listen to that, and you'll see this dial move up here. So you get that nice kind of looseness towards the end because of that reverb. I thought the reverb was getting in the way a little bit, so I'm just using a sidechain, just a regular sidechain, the LFO tool. You can obviously set up a sidechain with a compressor if you want. This is a great tool for sidechaining that I love to use. And this gave me a bit more pump, which stopped that reverb being so sort of in your face. So really liked using that. And last but not least, one of my favorite plugins, which is actually totally free, you get this from the iZotope website, is the iZotope vinyl, and the parameter I really like on this is warp depth. Now what this does in the shape of this waveform here is it pitches the whatever audio, whatever instrument you put through it, up and down ever so slightly. So we'll make it really extreme and then bring it back down just so you understand what it's doing. And I just wanted this vocal to go kind of in and out of tune because I thought that would add some sort of interesting artifacts and just make it move a little bit more so it's not so perfect. So without everything, and with, and let's hear it in the track. Now, just to top off that vocal, what I did was I added a hi-hat on top of it. I'm going to need to put this on every single one as well. And I felt like that just gave it this little punch, this little high energy punch on the top, which I thought was kind of cool. Kind of introduced it quite nicely. You can't really hear it that much in the track, but it does have a cool effect. You can imagine when it's alone, it just becomes a little bit more rhythmic with that hi-hat layered over the top. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next video.
Remember, at Sample Tools by CR2, we also offer a mix and mastering service. Just head over to www.sampletoolsbycr2.com, click on the mastering tab, and you'll find our range of services there.